Good afternoon, my dear students. In our live class, we were just discussed about the mechanism of breathing and also about some activities based on that. Okay, so in breathing process, we know that there are two processes involved, like inhalation and exhalation. These are the two processes involved in breathing process. And for the breathing process, mainly the internal organ, lungs lungs plays the major role, and along with that there are certain muscles and ribs are there, then some muscles are there that helps in the breathing process, or that helps in the inhalation and the exhalation processes. Okay, so there are intercostal muscles, the muscles present between the ribs and the diaphragm, that helps in the breathing process, the intercostal muscles. Okay, and diaphragm is a muscle of respiration which is present on the backside of lungs, or behind the lungs. There are certain muscles which are called as diaphragm, and their movement helps in the breathing process too. Okay, so during inhalation, what will happen is the intercostal muscles will contract. First, the intercostal muscles will contract, then the ribs move upward and outward. Ribs move upward and outward, then the diaphragm will contracts and it moves downward. These are the three steps that are occurring during inhalation. Okay, and if the ribs moves outward and upward, and also the diaphragm moves downward, there exists a space between these two, which is occupied by lungs, and that space is called as chest cavity. So during the inhalation, that space, chest cavity, will be filled with the inhaled air, so that the expansion, the lungs get filled up with air and it will expand. Okay, and the opposite thing is happening during exhalation. During exhalation, the ribs will move downward and inward, and the intercostal muscles will relax. Then what about the diaphragm? Yes, the diaphragm will move upward and regain its original position, so that there occurs a small gap, only a small gap will be left there. So there is a small chest cavity will be there during the exhalation process. So that decreases the space in the chest cavity, and the chest cavity becomes smaller and air rushes out of the lungs. The lungs get emptied and it will contract. This is what happening during exhalation, and the figures of exhalation and inhalation are given in your textbook, so just go through it. And there is a table that shows the difference between inhalation and exhalation based on certain parameters. I will just read that. The movement of air. Air rich in oxygen flows into the lungs during inhalation, but during exhalation, air rich in carbon dioxide moves outside the lungs. Then, movement of ribs. Ribs move upward and outward during inhalation, and ribs move inward and downward during exhalation. Then, movement of diaphragm. The diaphragm contracts and it moves downwards during inhalation, and the diaphragm will relax and it moves upward during exhalation. Then, volume of chest cavity increases during inhalation, and volume of chest cavity will be decreased during exhalation. The lungs will expand and volume increases during inhalation, and the lungs will contract and the volume decreases during exhalation. These are the things that are happening during breathing process. And what are the things that are present in the air that we breathe and inhale and exhale? We know that when we inhale, the air rich in oxygen, and when we exhale, the air will be rich in carbon dioxide, right? So that in order to demonstrate that, there is an activity in your textbook to show that carbon dioxide is produced during respiration. So take a clean glass or plastic bottle, make a hole in its lid and fix it on a bottle. Pour some freshly prepared lime water in the bottle. What is lime water? Yeah, lime water is not like the drinking lime water. It is a chemical solution. It is a chemical thing. That is the aqueous solution of calcium hydroxide. When calcium hydroxide is dissolved in water, it is termed as lime water. Okay, and insert a plastic straw through the hole in the lid such a way that it dips the lime water. Then just blow gently through the straw for a few times. Then we can observe that the lime water in the glass or plastic bottle turns milky. The exhaled air contains carbon dioxide gas because carbon dioxide gas turns lime water milky. So that in order to demonstrate the carbon dioxide is present in the exhaled air, we are blowing air through the lime water. So the lime water turns milky. Carbon dioxide will convert the lime water milky. Okay, and there is one more activity to show that exhaled air contains water vapor. First, take a mirror and just blow into that mirror. So you can observe that the mirror will become cloudy and it may even find some water drops on the mirror. So we can say that the water vapors are also present in the exhaled air. Okay, and there is a table that shows the percentage of amount of oxygen that we inhale, the amount of carbon dioxide that we exhaled, and also the amount of water vapor present in both inhaled air and exhaled air, like that. So just go through that table. And the next thing is about pranayama, breathing exercise in yoga. That is very important to maintain our healthy life. So if possible, everyone should practice the pranayama exercise in your home. That is beneficial for your body and also for your mind. Okay, so pranayama is a traditional breathing exercise. Regular practice of pranayama helps to increase the lung capacity to take in more air, more oxygen supply to the body, resulting in the increase of production of energy. So in order to have a energy rich life, you need to do this yoga practice. Okay, if possible only. Then the next one is about sneezing. We know that the air around us contains more amount of dust particles. So when we inhale the air, the dust particles also will enter into our lungs. So in order to prevent that, our nasal cavity will contain small hairs and also the mucus. But in to a certain extent, the hairs present in the lining of nasal cavity cannot prevent all the dust particles. So some will be stick on the surface of the lining of nasal cavity, and that will lead to the irritation. So in order to prevent that kind of irritation, we just sneeze out. We just forcefully exhale the air. Through that, the dust particles, the unwanted dust particles can be removed from the inhaled air. Okay, that process is called as sneezing. So these are the things that we have covered in today's live class, and the rest of the portions we can discuss in our next class. Thank you.